Today, I'm going to be showing you guys 5 of the best glitched builds on NBA 2K22 Next Gen. First things first though, please like and subscribe. I mean, it's 100% free, literally takes 5 seconds and helps me out so much. All around, the builds I'm going to show you guys are absolutely so broken. I'll start with the shortest glitch builds and then I'll work my way up to taller builds. Starting things off with this first build, of course, is going to be a glitch build, so there will be multiple steps. First, you're going to want to make a brand new build, make sure on the metric system, and go with the point guard position. For the body settings, you're going to want to go with 1.77 meters for the weight, 66 kg, and 1.78 meters for the wingspan. For the takeovers and attributes, pretty much just upgrade this randomly, it really does not matter. And then as you guys can see, it says I built a playmaking shot creator, that doesn't really matter. From there, what you're going to want to do is scroll over to where it says edit build, then back out to the main menu and change it over to the empirical system. Then go ahead, edit the build you just made. As you can see, I'm currently in the process of editing this build. You guys can see it's the same jersey number and everything. However, of course, I've changed the attributes, body settings, and takeovers to make the best build possible. So starting things off with the body settings, I would recommend going with 6'3", 169 pounds, and a 6'9" wingspan. Also, take a look at the attributes on the right side of the screen. 100%, if you guys do not do that first step to glitch this build, you cannot get nearly as good stats as you guys see me getting right now. A few key stats that you are able to get with these body settings is a 92 driving dunk and a 92 speed with the ball. This will give you elite contact dunks and Hall of Fame quick first step. Starting things off with finishing attributes and badges, you guys can see this is all around very good. I have a 92 driving dunk, which will give me elite contact dunks. And also I have 20 finishing badges. The finishing on this build is actually very good, and you definitely will be able to dunk on a ton of people since you get both the small contact dunk package and the elite contact dunk package. Moving on to shooting, you guys can see I have a 88 3-pointer and 28 shooting badges. And as you guys know, having very good shooting is very important for a point guard build. And this build is going to be very good at 3-point hunting. Next, moving on to playmaking, this is also very good with 30 playmaking badges. And additionally, you're going to get Hall of Fame quick first step, and your dribbling is going to be very good all around. Next, moving on to defensive/rebounding. This isn't crazy or anything, but you will be able to hold your own. You have 19 defensive badges with a 90 steal and an 85 perimeter defense. And probably more importantly, gold clams and Hall of Fame interceptor. Next, for the physicals, you guys can see this is all around very good. I don't think I need to explain too much. You need an 85 vertical to get small contact dunks. And also, the reason why my speed is lower than my acceleration is because acceleration helps with speed boosting, while speed helps with moving around off ball. So definitely acceleration is way more important. This build in total has 97 badges, which is absolutely insane. And this is all around, in my opinion, the best point guard build in this game. I mean, there's honestly nothing that this build can't do. Its finishing is very good, so you will be able to rim run if you want to. Its 3-point hunting and playmaking is top tier, and also it can hold its own on the defensive end. All around, it's just a very good build, and there's really nothing it can't do. Now, if you do want free throw on this build, what I'd recommend doing is first drop down your stamina to a 93, drop down your speed to an 85, and drop down your close shot to a 51. And then if you scroll down to free throw, you can then get a 79 free throw, which is definitely more than good enough. Next, moving on to the takeovers, I decided to go with double limitless range. Most likely, if you're making a point guard build, you're primarily going to be 3-point hunting. And for this reason, these are definitely the best takeovers. If you do get double takeover or even single takeover, you can honestly shoot from anywhere. And then as you guys can see, I built a 2-way 3-point playmaker, which is in my opinion a super cool name. Now moving on to a slightly taller build, you could call this the shooting guard build if you want to, but it still will be a point guard. Now the glitch is actually a little bit different, and the way you set it up is also a little bit different. This time you're going to want to make a brand new build. You still will be on the metric system, and make sure you go with the point guard. For the body settings, it's a little bit different. You're going to want to go with 1.95 meters, 79 kg, and 1.96 meters for the wingspan. And just like the previous build, the takeovers and the attributes do not matter at all. Pretty much just upgrade it randomly. And then once you are on this screen with the build name, what you're going to want to do is scroll over to where it says edit build, back out to the main menu, and change it over to the empirical system. Next, just like the previous build, you're going to want to edit the build you just made, and now you're pretty much good to go. What I would recommend doing for the body settings is go with 6'5", 175 pounds, and a 6'9" wingspan. These body settings are all around the best in my opinion, and just like the previous build, you cannot get these stats normally. Also, something a little bit unique about this build is even though you're 6'5", you can still get 6'4" and under dribble moves. As for example, the Derrick Rose 6 size up, which gives you the really glitchy speed boost that everyone is using. Starting things off with the finishing, you guys can see this isn't great, but it is very good. You're going to get pro contact dunks, not elite contact dunks, nor small contact dunks. But I didn't design this build to be a rim running build. But if you do have an open lane towards the basket, it's not like you have to take a midi or something. You can 100% take the dunk. And then next, moving on to shooting, this is pretty much identical to the previous build. You still have an 88 3-pointer and 28 shooting badges. Overall, you just won't miss on this build. And then same thing for playmaking. This is basically identical to the previous build. But the biggest and main difference is that you don't get Hall of Fame quick first step, which does suck a little bit. And then next, moving on to defensive / rebounding. Again, this is very similar to the previous build. You have 19 defensive badges with gold clamps and Hall of Fame interceptor. But you will get silver intimidator and also you're 6'5", which does make a significant difference. And then moving on to the physicals, you guys can see this is just all around very good. The biggest difference between this build and the previous point guard build that I showed you guys is size and badges. This build is obviously way taller and will be better on the defensive end, but the previous build gets Hall of Fame quick first step, elite contact dunks, small contact dunks, and also just has more badges in general. Overall, it's up to you which build you want to make. I think both of them are absolutely amazing options. If you do want free throw on this build, all you're going to want to do is drop down your driving layup to a 64. If you do this, you can get an 84 free throw, which is very, very good. And then next, moving on to the takeovers, I decided to go with first limitless range and then second extreme clamps. You can go double limitless range if you want to, but I decided to switch things up a little bit with extreme clamps. And as you guys can see, I built another two-way three-point playmaker. And honestly, it does make a ton of sense why I get the exact same name as the previous build. So next, moving on to the third glitch build of this video. Of course, you do need to set up this build, but you're going to want to start on the empirical system this time. For the position, you're going to want to go with shooting guard. Now for the body settings, you're going to want to go with 6'3", 220 pounds, and 7 foot for the wingspan. And then also for the body shape, you're going to want to go with burly. At this point, you guys know the drill. Upgrade this build and equip whatever takeovers you guys want to. Then whenever you have the opportunity, scroll over to where it says edit build, back out to the main menu and change it over to the metric system. Now this is actually a two-part glitch. So pretty much you're going to want to edit the build you just made. And then you're going to want to change the height to 2.05 meters, 106 kg, and 2.31 meters for the wingspan. And then for the attributes and takeovers, again, just upgrade this randomly. And then on this screen, scroll over to where it says edit build, back out to the main menu, and this time change it to the empirical system. From there, you're pretty much good to go. Edit the build you just made and copy everything I'm about to show you guys. So first, for the body settings, I'd recommend going with 6'7", 180 pounds, and a 6'11" wingspan. Since this is a glitch build, the attributes you're able to get are insane. You guys can see you get an 86 acceleration on a 6'7" build, which is actually crazy. And as well, the stats overall on this build are going to be very, very good. So moving on to the attributes, let's start with finishing. You guys can see I have a 92 driving dunk and 16 finishing badges. Overall, this means you're able to get elite contact dunks, and even though you don't have a ton of finishing badges, trust me, you'll be able to dunk on everyone. Next, for shooting, you can see I have an 85 3-pointer and 22 shooting badges. Overall, the shooting on this build is very, very good. You're going to be able to green very consistently. Next, for playmaking, this isn't anything too crazy, but it's all around just very solid. You're going to get gold bullet passer, gold handles for days, and gold quick first step. Next, for defense, which is probably the best part of this build. You guys can see you have 25 defensive badges, which doesn't sound like a lot, but trust me, this is a full-on lockdown. You have a 94 perimeter defense, which allows you to get Hall of Fame clamps, and as well, you're able to get Hall of Fame intimidator, and plus, you're a 6'7" build, and with these glitch stats, you're basically able to keep up with those really short point guard builds. All around, this can definitely be your primary lockdown build. And then moving on to the physicals, you guys can see this is very good, especially for a 6'7" build. Also, you can go with an 80 vertical if you want to. I decided to just go with 85 for this build, since somebody told me having an 85 vertical helps a ton for defense, so I figured I'd try it out. This build only has 91 badges, which doesn't seem like a lot, but when I was making this build, I was really way more focused on getting the key attributes and badges, opposed to just having a giant badge count. If you do want free throw on this build, all you're going to want to do is drop down your steal 2 ratings to a 90. This will give you a 74 free throw, which is definitely more than good enough to hit free throws consistently. Moving on to the takeovers, I decided for the first takeover to go with extreme clamps, and then for the secondary takeover to go with limitless range, since after all, I do think this is going to be a lockdown build. And as you guys can see, I built another two-way three-point playmaker. The fact that I've gotten this team this many times is honestly insane. Also, if you guys do want to see this glitch 6'7" build in action, I recently posted a gameplay video. Be sure to check it out. So hopping right into the fourth build of this video. This is going to be yet again another glitch build, of course. And the glitch is going to be basically the exact same thing as the previous build. Pretty much what you're going to want to do is go with 6'3", 220 pounds, and a 7-foot wingspan. And then for the body shape, you're going to want to go with burly. And then pretty much go with random takeovers and upgrade this build randomly. And then when you do get the name of this build, scroll over to where it says edit build, back out to the main menu and change it over to the metric system. Now from there, you're pretty much good to go. You're going to want to copy down everything I'm about to show you guys. First, for the height, you're going to want to go with 2.05 meters and then go with minimum weight and max wingspan. This is overall the best. You're going to get some absolutely crazy stats, and it's pretty much the best balance between defense and also being kind of quick. So now moving on to the attributes. Starting things off with finishing, you guys can see I have a 92 driving dunk and an 84 standing dunk. This is all around very good. You will be able to get elite contact dunks on this build. And then next for shooting, you guys can see I have a 77 mid-range, a 77 three-pointer, and 21 shooting badges. Overall, even though you don't have a super high three-pointer or mid-range rating, you definitely will be able to green very consistently if you know your jump shot. This isn't a build that's going to be making a ton of whites, but as long as you know your jump shot, trust me, you're going to be chilling. Moving on to playmaking, you guys can see this isn't super good at all. I mean, it's decent, it's at least serviceable. Every single pass you throw won't be as scary. And also, you will be able to move around the court with the ball. Moving on to the defense of this build, which is absolutely insane. You have in total 31 defensive badges, which on its own is crazy. But also, you get pretty much every single badge on gold or Hall of Fame. Also, you do have an 85 perimeter defense, which is nuts. And as well, you get gold clamps, which pretty much means you can guard every build in this game. And then now moving on to the physicals, you guys can see this is just very, very good all around. This build in total has 92 badges, which is very, very good. Obviously, the best part of this build is just how insane its defense is. But also, you're going to be dunking on everyone, you can shoot consistently, and also you can pass and move around the court without getting everything stolen. If you do want free throw on this build, what I recommend doing is drop down your close shot to a 47. If you throw those ratings onto free throw, you can then get an 88 free throw, which is definitely very, very good. Now moving on to the takeovers, since this is kind of a lockdown build, I recommend for the first takeover, go with extreme clamps. And since at the same time, this is also a big man build, for the secondary takeover, go see the future. And as you guys can see, I built a two-way finisher, which is definitely 100% a very fitting name for this build. I recently recorded a gameplay video using this glitch 6'9" build. And if you are interested in making this build, maybe check that thing out first to see it in game. Moving on to the fifth and final build of this video. So now moving on to the final build of this video, this is going to be yet again another glitch build. And for the position, you're going to want to go with center. For this first step, you're going to want to go with 2.17 meters, 101 kg, and 2.44 meters for the wingspan. And then at this point, I'm sure you guys know what to do. Pretty much just upgrade this build randomly, choose random takeovers, and then right here, scroll over to where it says edit build and change it over to the empirical system. Now after this, there's no additional steps. You can go ahead and edit the build you just made. And then for the body settings, I recommend going with 7'2", 235 pounds, and an 8-foot wingspan. Compared to a normal 7'2" build, there may not appear to be a huge difference, but as you guys can see, you get a 75 vertical, which is very important. If you guys don't know, you actually need a 75 vertical to get both pro contact dunks and elite big man contact dunks, which are super important. Which makes this glitch build definitely very, very good. Starting things off with the finishing attributes. In total, you guys can see I have 28 finishing badges, as well as a 90 standing dunk, which is very important so you can get elite big man contacts. All around, this is going to be a very good finishing build, whether you're post scoring or just setting screens and cutting to the basket. Next, moving on to shooting, you guys can see I have 18 shooting badges. And even though this isn't an insane shooting build, it can definitely green very consistently. Next, for playmaking, pretty much the only thing that matters is pass accuracy, which you're going to want at an 85. This will give you 15 playmaking badges, as well as Hall of Fame break starter and gold bullet passer. Next, for defensive / rebound, you guys can see this is again insane. You have 36 defensive badges, which is crazy. And as well, you're going to get Hall of Fame intimidator, Hall of Fame rim protector, and Hall of Fame rebound chaser. And then next for the physical, as you guys can see, this is quite good. And most importantly, you get that 75 vertical, which is very important to get those contact dunk packages. If you do want free throw on this build, all you're going to want to do is drop down your post control to an 82. You can then get an 84 free throw, which is very, very good. Moving on to the takeovers. For the first takeover, I would recommend going with See the Future, and then for the secondary takeover, I would recommend going with Stuffed Blocks. All around, these are definitely the best big man takeovers. And then as you guys can see, the name comes out to be a two-way facilitator, which I guess is kind of a fitting name, but not really. Also, if you guys want to see a little bit of gameplay of me using this glitch 7'2" build, be sure to check it out. It's in the card above. If you did make it this far into the video, please like and subscribe. There's 3 gameplay videos on the screen right now of me using different glitch builds. Like, comment, subscribe, go follow me on Twitter, and I'm out. Peace.